quick tip, if you're using sausages, the way I like to be able to open a package is I like to cut this way, and then I turn it on the other side and cut the opposite way, and then I just cut off the actual tips on both sides, and then you can be able to get the sausages out a lot easier. That was just a quick tip. Just cooking, make sure that you use a fork to be able to section off the sausage when you put it in the pan. Even if you're using turkey, you always want to separate it, and just let it cook on both sides, and then once you can be able to tell that it's done once it turns brown on both sides. You can always check to make sure it's done also by putting it on some paper plate, and if blood is on it, it's not done and you need to recook it again. Okay? Being extra careful when it comes to using raw meat. You always want to make sure you wash your hands often, because you always have to do that. You never want to get sick or salmonella, so always make sure you're washing your hands after and always doing your cooking as well, especially when you're using raw meat. Once your sauces start to get brown, you want to go ahead and put your water on for your rice. I'm going to be using long grain rice. What I'm going to do is put a cup of rice in there. It's up to you how many cups you want to use. You know, use the amount that you want to use. It just all depends on how many people you're cooking for. I'm just cooking for me and my husband, so I'm going to use like 1.5 cups, no more than that, because rice, you can always get too much rice. But the good thing is, if you do make too much rice, you can always put it inside of your egg roll, and it tastes excellent. Yes, deep fried. It tastes excellent. So let me go ahead and add the rice. I always cook my rice for 20 minutes. I put my timer on for 20 minutes. I'll give it a good 22 if you're if it's not already hot. But you can always try it to make sure it's at your tasting, because I don't like my rice to be too overcooked and I don't like it to be too undercooked. Is pretty much ready to get out of the skillet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the skillet, but I'm also going to make sure I lay it on top of a paper plate with a napkin. You never want to just eat it just like that. You always want to drain your actual sausage, so that's what I'm about to do. You guys, the sausage is officially done. It is really good, you guys. I love sausage. Now what I have done is I have actually taken out my onion out of the freezer, because I'm actually about to start cutting that, but I wanted to show you guys the egg roll wraps. You can find them. Oh, it was so hard to find this for my husband's birthday, but I finally found them at Kroger's. No, Walmart. They only had 2 packs left. I went to Harry's. I went everywhere. Everybody was out of them. You just go to the produce section, and they're in the produce section. Again, they egg roll wraps. Don't get the wonton wraps unless you make them super little. You got to make sure you get the egg roll wraps. And what I have done, I got some mushroom too. I'm going to go ahead and cook the mushroom also. And I'm also going to cut up this onion and put the cabbage and all that good stuff inside. I'm not going to put the mushroom in the egg roll. It's actually going to go inside of the rice when it's time to make the rice. But if you want to put in the egg roll, you can put in the egg roll too. It's probably just as good. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this up, get the cabbage on, and try to hurry up because it looks like my battery's going dead, and I'm going to come back at you guys. So go ahead and cook the cabbage and the onions. Go ahead and cut it up, dice it up, make it really, really nice, and go ahead and put a little bit of oil in the skillet and cook it in the skillet until it's completely done. It don't have to be hard or none, but just nice and soft, okay? Make sure you take off the film on the onion, because I remember one time I didn't know nothing about cooking and I cooked it with the film on side of it, so you can be able to feel it, but just make sure you cut the film off. And what I'm going to do is just cut this up really, really fine and add it to the cabbage. Okay, my water is actually boiling out for the rice. I'm going to go ahead and put the rice on. I'm going to put it on my timer for 20 minutes. Once 20 minutes up, I'm going to actually check to make sure it's done. I always do a taste check, and then I'm going to go ahead and rinse off the rice also once it's done. I'm going to go ahead and actually add the cabbage and the onions inside of a big, huge skillet, so I can be able to go ahead and cook that nice and soft and cook it down. And once I get finished cooking that down, I'll come back. Nice and chopped up really fine, just like this. You always want to make sure it's nice and chopped up, because a lot of people don't like onions, so you want it to be as thin as possible. You always want to stir it up to make sure it's stirred up really good, because you don't want clumps and stuff. So make sure as soon as you put the rice in, you go ahead and stir it up and check it frequently. Make sure the water stays in there. I like to cook my rice again on like about 7. When it comes to medium, you know, I don't want to cook it too high, and I don't want it to cook it too low, and I cook it for 20 minutes, and then I do a taste check. So if you do that, okay? Rinse off your cabbage inside of a strainer and just rinse it with some water. And then once you get finished, you can be able to just kind of try to dry it off as best as possible before you cook it. Because I remember one time I tried not to listen to my mom when I was making some coleslaw. You can tell the difference. It's got some kind of pesticide, something on it. I'm not for sure, but I always rinse mine off. So make sure you rinse it off, okay? When you're cooking or whatever, you always clean up as you go. You don't want to wait till the last minute to clean up, especially cabbage. Cabbage is a mess. So always clean up as you go. You'll feel like you don't have so much stuff to do after you get finished. Onions inside of the skillet, get it nice and brown. Not too brown, but just nice and brown. Then you're going to go ahead and add the cabbage. Add the cabbage. Make sure you add your cabbage inside of a bowl. You want to put it in like a big, huge bowl because it's a lot easier to get it out of the skillet. I'm going to show you the bowl that I'm talking about. Make sure after you rinse the cabbage off, you put it inside a really big bowl so you're able to be able to get it inside the skillet really good. So I'm going to go ahead and let that cook, and then I'm going to continue. Stir the cabbage, make sure it's not burning. And you also want to check on your rice. Make sure you stir it as well as add some water to it if it needs some water. Always do a taste test to make sure it's to your liking. Okay, the cabbage is done, the rice is done. I am going to go ahead and start wrapping the egg rolls. Once I get some of the egg rolls started, I'm going to go ahead and put the mushrooms and saute those so I can be able to put them in the actual rice. You can put them in an egg roll if you want to, but I'm not putting them in an egg roll. Especially like if you don't have meat, it'd be good to put some mushrooms in your egg roll. But let me get finished and I'll come back at you guys. But when you had actually cooked the cabbage, make sure you put your favorite seasoning on there. You like to use like a garlic powder, garlic salt, something with garlic, or whatever seasoning you like, because you do want to season up the cabbage. I like to use these different little seasonings. You can always get them from Big Lots or different stores. I wanted to let you guys know that. Strain the rice also and put it right back in the pot. Then I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. And what I'm going to do is get my mushrooms together to be able to put inside of the actual rice. I'm going to put some soy sauce, and you can put your favorite seasoning in the rice, and that's the way I'm going to serve it. Put the mushrooms inside of it. It's going to be really, really good, and the soy sauce give it a really good taste. I'm going to go ahead and stuff the egg rolls, and I'm going to come back at you to show you guys how to stuff the egg rolls. Now cleaning up, that's going to actually give the cabbage a little time to be able to cool down, because you want to do it while it's cooled down. You're not trying to get burnt or anything. And I'm going to go ahead and cook the mushrooms. I'm going to go ahead and actually I'll put some grease already in my skillet. You can use whatever type of grease you want to. I usually like to use olive oil, but I ran out. So I'm going to go ahead and cook the mushrooms and get the mushrooms together for the rice. Put that inside of there, and then I'm going to start these egg rolls. Rinse off the mushrooms with water. Always, like I told you, I rinse everything off. So go ahead and rinse that off, and then you can be able to saute them nicely. Cooking the actual mushrooms really, really good. You want to cook it down that it's basically, you don't want big chunks. You want them to be kind of diced up really good, and then you're just going to, again, put them inside of the rice. But I just want to show you how it was cooking. It's looking pretty and looking really nice. You read the directions that'll show you actually how to use the wrap. You always want to make sure you got it like a triangle like this. Hopefully you can see it good like that. You want to lay it like this, and then you can be able to put the actual cabbage just a little bit. You don't want to put too much, so you can be able to close it. And then I'm going to put some rice. Like I said, you don't have to. I'm going to though. And then you're going to put, it's kind of hard to hold the camera, but, and then you're going to just kind of crumble up some sausages and put inside there, or whatever you made, the turkey. And like I said, don't overfill it, because if you overfill it, you won't be able to close it. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and wrap the other one right on top of that. And then you're going to take this one and wrap that one, and you're going to do the other flap. Like I said, it's hard to do it while I'm on camera, but then you do it like this, and then you just give it a good roll. And there you go. You got an egg roll. And you're going to just go ahead and make sure you lay it in the actual grease. You want to have the flap, I think they said down. You have it flap down when you put it in the grease. So let me go ahead and put one, make a few more and put it in the grease real quick and show you. Make sure you set it up like this. Go ahead and have your wraps here. Go ahead and have your cabbage in a bowl. Whatever toppings or whatever you want to put in, just go ahead and lay it on a plate. Have a plate to be able to do the actual wrapping. Have your rice and your sausage and whatever, and just add everything, and then just go ahead and wrap it up like the instructions tell you to do. And I'm about to do another. Do is add maybe just a little bit of whatever, rice or sausage, just to make sure that the actual grease is ready and hot, and it's not. So you don't want to add the egg roll until that's ready. So wait until it's ready, and then I'll come back. Okay, they're actually getting done. I put them in a nice hot, boiling, greasy fire. And I'm just going to go ahead and cook them. And you can be able to tell when it's time to turn them, because they kind of get like a little brown, crusty on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on the other side and just continue to put all of them in there. And then I'm going to work on the rice. Using a spatula, and what you want to do is you want to transfer the egg rolls to some kind of paper plate with some paper towels, because you want the grease to be able to soak in there, because you don't want to serve it while it's greasy. Okay, you guys, I am officially done. Here's the egg rolls. Hopefully you can see them. They were so good. I taste one. It was the bomb diggity. Maybe you can be able to see the consistency. You got the sausage, the cabbage, and it's with the rice. It's nice and soft. And don't forget your have your duck sauce also, because that's what you eat, or some plum sauce with your egg rolls. It makes it taste a lot better. And then we have the rice over here. And again, this is rice with mushrooms in it, and I also have some soy sauce. Hopefully you guys try it. Let me know how you like it. This is a quick and easy meal. I hope everybody take care. Be blessed. If you haven't, if you will, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Bye, you guys.